Ted 2. Ted is back, and he has to prove he's a person because the government really doesn't say he's a person. They claim that he's property, and then there's a lot of plots, and God, this movie's a mess. I don't like this movie. I really don't. The more I watch this movie, the more I don't like it. First of all, this movie suffers from what we call sequelitis. It tries to be even funnier. It tries to go bigger and better, and it doesn't. It's not as funny. Not at all close to being as funny as the first one. Uh, a lot of these jokes are literally from episodes of Family Guy. You take out the cartoon element, take out the characters that are in Family Guy, and put in Mark Wahlberg with Ted. It's the exact same scene, and that drove me nuts because it's not fresh anymore. There are moments in Ted, the original Ted, where some jokes are right from Family Guy, but they kept them very little. There was a lot more original jokes. This just feels like a bunch of Family Guy jokes. And again, my big problem with this one is like the problem I have with the first one. The ending gets so serious and boring and stupid, and I just and it's even worse than the first one. The first one had maybe 10, 15 minutes of really serious stuff, and there was still jokes in there. This one is just like 30 minutes of serious stuff, and there are some little jokes in there, but they're not. It's not worth the time that you spend. Uh, it is extremely similar to the first, like I said. Not a lot of new things here. Uh, again, it's something that I don't understand why Seth MacFarlane decided to do this. Was Giovanni Ribisi, who is the bad guy in the first one? He's back, and I don't understand why. I wish he wasn't in the movie at all. He doesn't need to be there. His character is again in the first one. It's funny. This one is just ridiculous and stupid, and I didn't like it. Uh, that's just what I really have to say about this movie. This movie feels like a bunch of little jokes. It's like Seth MacFarlane wrote these little skits and jokes and just kind of threw them in a movie. Because that's what it feels like. Like, for example, another person that doesn't need to be in this movie, Patrick Warburton, who was in the first one. He could have just cameoed for this movie, and he has this longer part. And every scene we see him in, it just feels like he's written in there to do this stupid joke, and that's it. There's no purpose. There's nothing that ties in with the rest of the movie. Where first Ted, everything in there kind of worked with the movie. It tied it all in there. This one does not do that. It just throwing random funny things at your face, and it doesn't work. Uh, Once again, for this movie as well, as I said for the first one, pretty much all the women are whores and stupid and dumb, and the guys are also dumb. And it's just, it's ridiculous. The one girl in this movie that changes that is Amanda Seyfried, who replaced Mila Kunis. Mila Kunis was pregnant, I believe, at the time, and so she couldn't do it. And for some reason, they decided to just go ahead and do it. And there is a reason to why she's not in the movie that they explain about, but it doesn't work for me because if you watch the end of Ted, it just it doesn't line up for what is said for in Ted 2, and I don't like it. It does not work at all for me. Ugh. Um, as far as positives go, since I've gone through all my negatives, the chemistry once again between Mark Wahlberg and Ted, and even Amanda Seyfried, the new character of this film, it's good. It's very good. You can tell they get along, all that fun stuff. Again, the CGI is fantastic in this movie. You cannot tell that Ted is not real. So that is something great. I, this movie is funny. It really is. There are some really great funny moments in here. The problem is they're random and they're just thrown into this movie with with nothing, and it just doesn't work in the end there. I honestly think the best thing I could say to you is to go online, go on YouTube, and just type in Ted 2 funniest moments, and that's really all you need, because that's really all this movie is. It's just a bunch of random, stupid, funny things put into a movie that is a huge mess, trying to do 10 different things at once and have all these stupid little plots. Guys, I really don't like this movie. This is a terrible, terrible sequel, I think. I, the more I watch it again, the more I absolutely hate it. I'm going to give this movie a 3 out of 10. So guys, tell me, what did you think down below? Did you like Ted 2? Share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. We will see you soon.